Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Greeny and Craig stream. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. I think we're live literally probably about a week ago. So apologies for Tuesday. That's sometimes the schedule has to change, guys. Crypto is always evolving, so that's how it is. But Craig, how are you today, mate?
Jim, Greeny, Jim, everyone. I'm good, man. I had a swim yesterday, so one of my ears is bloody blocked, so I can't. I'm like an old man. I'm like, what? I can't hear, but I'm here alive and well. And I was just talking to you off stream before. It's actually raining today where we are, which is a welcome change because it's been friggin' hot. And Greeny and I, we were just speaking off stream how hard it is to sleep at the moment out here. So it's nice to see some rain and be cooler and sit in my office and not sweat and get agitated.
I mean, and actually sitting in a shirt today is actually not too unbearable. Like usually you can't, it's just so hot in Southeast Queensland, let's call it, right? So hopefully we aren't far away from winter, or at least autumn, let's say in next month or so. Oh, my light's already gone out. Look at that. That's not good. I need to charge that bad boy. But obviously, guys, thanks for tuning in. Big show today. I think today's focus is just going to be on just a whole market overview right now. I'm seeing a lot of fear still on the timeline. I'm seeing a lot of discussion around no altcoin season. I'm seeing a lot of discussion around the Trump volatility. We've obviously got these big influencers. Craig and I were talking about that just before the stream as well, that really are trying to create unnecessary hype and they calling themselves traders when they literally aren't a trader, guys. They have just created a following and now they're calling themselves a trader. So we're going to sort through all of that. We'll talk through all of that. Obviously in the title, we've had JAILSTOOL. I printed on that with GTG. I think it was like a 70x over the weekend. So that was a mad trade. Car obviously came out. That's a Congo meme over the weekend as well. Missed that one. But we're seeing the celebrity meme coin still very much, be hard of a tough meta, right? For anyone to really try and trade. So you have to be so early. You have to be trading trends, looking at volatility, looking at volume, all that sort of stuff. So it's the same strategies, just in a different sense at the moment. But Craig, I don't know. The market looks pretty good. We caught a few longs yesterday as well in GTG. I'm still long from the liquidation event last Monday because that was an opportunity, in my opinion. I think we probably go. I think we can sweep higher and then potentially move back down a little bit. That next low is what I'm watching. It's that next low that I'm more curious about from where we currently are today, Craig. So what's your take on the current market? I know I just digest so much information there. Then lots of different topics. So you take it in the direction you want us to start with.
Yeah, look, it's same. I mean, same as you. And I think probably the same as a lot of people. We're all waiting on Bitcoin
Yeah.
So that's probably what's frustrating people, including probably you and myself,
Yeah.
in a lack of patience sort of way, because until Bitcoin breaks out of its range, the
Yeah.
market is quite indecisive what it wants to do. And I think that's probably why you're seeing random runners go out of sheer boredom.
Hmm.
So you're seeing coins, I think, seen that perhaps wouldn't have seen in busier times, because people are like, oh, I need to make money. Where can I put money? Because we're in this like constant cycle of waking up every morning looking where to gamble, and perhaps
Yeah.
that's not the greatest strategy right now, I don't think. So myself, I'm not really in the trenches at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously over the weekend, like you said, there were some good ones, right? There was a couple of
Yeah.
runners.
Yeah.
I didn't get to catch them. I was looking after my boy, so life takes, IRL sometimes a bit more important, but certainly that some of those runners were good if you could catch them. But at the same time, if you didn't catch them in the first sort of few hours, at least a couple of them, you
Yeah.
probably didn't make any money. But Bitcoin, to talk about more specifically, stuck in that range. And it's a fairly, well, the last you've been posting, the last on the daily, dude, it's just been like a pancake, eh?
It literally has done nothing. That's why I'm usually a swing trader, as you say. Like I love to actually go and favor the daily chart, the 3 day,
Yeah.
the 5 day, the weekly. But I've had to come down low, and we literally caught this long last night. So very grateful for that. But yeah, this is a 4 hour chart. I even went down to the 2 hour chart, which like I don't mind trading that. It just means you have to be so much more like in tune. You have to be trading that regularly. So I mean, like everyone likes to trade in different ways. I mean, Sexy, he's been trading the bloody 1 minute charts. It's ridiculous. So
Is he?
yeah, he's a wild man, that fella. So, anyways, it's a good time to probably learn and hone in on your skills on lower time frames because volatility is so low. But you can still capture scalp and swing trades like this one, like we did last night. So really simply, it's just demand down at the 2 hour, 4 hour to capture this liquidity that we haven't retested since the liquidation event last Monday. So yeah, I thought we could tap that. We obviously caught the long at the start, didn't get all the way down to low 90 or high 92s, but it looks like we're about to break out here. And then Aussie also had a long yesterday from about the 95 or 94K region as well. So yeah, we're in a long at the moment on BTC, as I said. I'm hoping this one can push to these highs up here. At least take out sort of this liquidity, take out that liquidity, maybe take out that liquidity. Then I think what Sexy is like kind of saying, and I agree, is like up here, push to here, maybe even lower. I think his is actually 98 target. Yeah, lower, like maybe even this high here, potentially he's only targeting. And then this, as I said, it's this pullback that I'm watching. It's that next low. So whether we fold over here and create this low there, that's the one that I'm watching because that's the one that'll really show me that structure is really changed on a low time frame and probably a high time frame as well. If we push up higher, I probably lean more towards a bigger pullback. However, if we do create a higher, well, like a higher high, right? Because it is a higher high, it's a higher high on all those high highs. But what I would then be looking for is obviously how low do we come back from that pullback? And Craig and I, like we've been talking about this for a while. I still think we could come back down and retest 85. I did a video recently on YouTube about that. There's so much confluence around that level. You've got FDVs, you've got the 200-day moving average, you've got the bull market support band, you've got the bottom of the range that hasn't had liquidity tested from November. So 85 to 89 is still very much on the cards for me. We could push all the way up here and then go something like this and then go off to the races in March, potentially. Like something like that could happen. Or this could be it. Like we've just consolidated here for 3 months. On higher timeframes, and I will zoom out to the daily, but I just want to show you that you can still trade. You just have to wait for price to come to you. So many people overtrade in cryptocurrency, and so it's so important to spend time learning from people like us, Craig, or other people who know what they're actually doing and who have managed to not emotionally trade. I see so many people on the timeline saying, yeah, I'm buying this dip. I'm like, bro, why are you buying that dip? It's literally, you have no invalidation. The chart looks horrible. There's no divergences. There's no momentum trackers. So like, it's just like, yeah, learn some different strategies, Craig. So that's what I'm saying. But if we look at the daily, it looks pretty wild. Like this is the daily. If I just get rid of the P&L here, the daily has done nothing over the past week. We finally have some action today. Yeah. Which is great to see. But look at this. This is what we've been trying to trade over the past week. It's been pretty horrendous, Craig.
Look, and I can see why you've gone down to the lower time frames just to get a little bit of action. Obviously, with volatility being so low, if you're on the daily, you just about can't see any movement.
No.
So yeah, I'm the same as you. my mindset's the same. There's sort of, I guess, three scenarios which I posted about as well, and you've just run through all three, really. Do we just continue grinding up from here? Maybe. Do we go up to sort of the 98 region, come back down and retest those lows, or the liquidity down below? I'm the same as you in the way that the dry powder I've got on the side, I'm really wanting to deploy that more in the 80s. Rather than on the lows of this channel. The lows of this channel sort of, I guess you could call it 89 on the bigger swing low. But I'm even more interested to see if, I guess you were essentially saying the same thing. It's market structure we're wanting to see, aren't we? And I want to see where this bounces, how strong it bounces, and that would tell us something. But at the moment, Bitcoin's just not revealing its hand.
No.
So I think for people, for callers, if you want to call us callers, for lack of a better word, it's also a tricky time because you don't want to overcall at the moment because, like you were just saying, the only issue now with buying bottom of the range dips is that might not be the dip.
Exactly.
This might be the dip before the dip, and sometimes, in my experience in the past, you can kind of get sucked into dips a little bit earlier than you should, which is sometimes how I feel market makers like to do it. They like to have a little dip, create, pull in a whole bunch of retail liquidity, and then dump you lower and almost trap you. So you're stuck in spot bags, and they'll take you lower, and then you'll sell, and then they'll take you higher. So
exactly.
It's a tricky time. I'm not bidding anything too hard. I just want to see. I did buy some Bitcoin yesterday, actually.
Okay.
But that was more a case. That wasn't so much a case of me really having to have it. Yeah. Actually, I guess it was. I just wanted to load up my bags a bit more because I just think longer time we go higher, and it was more a case of me, I guess, hedging my bets in case my lower prediction's wrong. Which it could be. It could be.
How come? I want to talk about that because my strategy has actually been a little bit different more recently. I've decided, because I've got more money in the bank already, because I have taken aggressive profits this cycle, I've actually been just buying spot accumulation of altcoins that I think are going to outperform. So I've actually been de-risking my Ethereum bag. I have de-risked pretty much all of my NFT exposure except for my Bodogo. Because Ethereum, I do think it could potentially turn around against Bitcoin. I just don't know if it's anytime soon. But if you look at every other altcoin like Sui, Solana, Hype, even XRP, they're going to outperform Ethereum and most likely Bitcoin once BTC dominance comes down. So for me, my question to you, Craig, is, okay, is your BTC bags that you're buying just a really simple play for looking at a 20% move, 50% move potentially? Are you looking to sell this cycle? Are you looking to hold through this cycle or liquidate it all? Because for me, I'm like, okay, I've made a decent amount of bag. Now's the time to probably go more risk on potentially into these plays that haven't ran up aggressively yet because BTC dominance has been so high. And I'll talk about my altcoin bags after you answer the question.
Yeah, so exactly right. So for me, the buying of Bitcoin I've been buying at this whole range. So every time it goes to the bottom of this range at about 89 to 91, I'm buying. So to answer your question a bit shorter, yes, it's for about a 20% swing.
Okay.
Is what I'm searching for here. So basically, I'll be exiting that position when we're going to price discovery. I'm hoping to see 115 to 127. I'll be selling in there.
Yeah.
And selling quite aggressively and quite large.
Yeah.
So not really. So probably not for everyone, that trading strategy, because you've got to go in a bit heavier.
Yeah.
So I'm going heavier. So, it's not $1,000 bids, it's 20,000 and stuff like that. So if you can get a 20, 30, 50% swing, it's okay. It's worth the stress. Although stress-wise, it's quite minimal for me because, like you, we took such aggressive profits on the way up that I've only put back in, 20%, if that, 10%. So I guess I put it in at the bottom of this range with the understanding that I'm prepared to take a 10% hit and ride it. So I guess the important lesson is here, this is a tricky spot to buy. It's probably not great, to be honest.
I do agree. It is a weird spot. Yeah.
Not a good spot. Because I think we could see lower, but like I said, it was just a hedge on me being, because at the moment I just feel it's so 50-50 where we go. I'm leaning towards lower, but Yeah, I'm not certain. So I just wanted to lock in a bit more money there. But at the same time, I'd probably be favoring a strategy more like you for probably 95% of people. But in saying that, now that I've got my target amount of money, I wanted to buy the bottom of the range. Now, as of today, I'm going towards alt. So it's actually probably a good time for you to chat to me about those, because I'm now the same as you. Now that I've got my Bitcoin bag stocked again, I kind of, I'm like you, I'm going to go risk on a bit, because with Bitcoin dominance being so high, I kind of feel like we've been speaking about on this channel for what must feel like an eternity to people watching us, that must break down at some point. It's going to come down.
Yeah.
When it does, then those alts will fly. It's just if and when. Well, not if and well, it is if and when. And it's opportunity cost over that amount of time.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably a good segue into what you're looking at altcoin wise, Greeny.
It's so funny. I follow so many people on different platforms, and a notable person in Australia, he recently said that he was selling altcoins for Bitcoin, and I was like, if your time frame is 5 to 10 years, go for it. If your time frame is to make money this cycle, that is the wrong approach right now. Like, so lack of education, lack of analysis, and lack of chart understanding is pretty much that. But
I want to say that's just about the reverse of.
It is literally the reverse of what you should be doing right now. So it's just
selling alts at the moment is wild to me.
So many people get a big following and they actually have no idea what they're doing. So, anyways, what I'm looking at here, and I just want to conclude my point on why I'm targeting 85-ish, 89-ish. Okay, so that would be the bottom of this range, which obviously we haven't touched since November. So that's the first reason. The second reason is we have all of these FVGs. So FVGs are fair value gaps, which over time, liquidity, so price, loves to come back down and at least retest these two. Essentially, it just acts as a magnet, right? Now, the one thing that takes us potentially higher is the amount of stacked liquidity up here from shorts that happened over here, okay? So that's potentially why we might rally first and then dump back down here and then maybe attempt a new all-time high after that. So that could be one scenario. We might not retest all of this. We might not. That just could be the case. But that's the scenario that I like and that I think I'd still do favor on higher timeframes. Now, why I like that region, as I said, it's the first step is the bottom of the range. And I've been saying that for quite a long time. We're currently at the midpoint of the range. The midpoint of the range is around that 95-ish region. Top of the range would be about that sort of mark there where we haven't had a daily candle close above. So it's about 106. Now, why I like down here is because you have all these FVGs on daily, weekly, monthly, and I'll show you them. That haven't been retouched in literally, they haven't been retouched. So it's unclaimed liquidity, right? Within that, you also have the 200-day moving average at about 84.3 at the moment. And you have the bull market support band, which again has not been touched since October 24. So lots of confluence. And often, if you have a lot of confluence, it generally does act as a magnet for potentially taking a trade. So something like this is what I'm really looking at. A very simple 1.84. But if you it's not like people always chase so many high risk to rewards. Like, I'm looking for a 5x, I'm looking for a 10x. Those sorts of things. If I, like you, Craig, right, where you've said you're looking to go with a larger allocation and looking for a 20% move, that's what I would do, but just using leverage. So I would allocate, rather than a 1% bag, I would probably allocate maybe 3 to 5%, okay, with this very simple 1.84 risk, because if it does break below that, it's a massive macro change of structure. So that means, yes, the trend is definitely changing. So I'm happy to cop that as a loss, because your risk to reward back here to 106, if not higher, is so much better. So having more allocated to a trade like this is better than having an allocated trade off the mid-range, which I did on the 2-hour, 4-hour chart. I only did 1% allocation for that. So you got to manage risk in different ways. And that's why I am targeting those levels. So if we do just zoom out just to show you, so the daily fair value gap is just simply where has liquidity not touched, and it's just simply in between that wick there and that wick there. Now that's obviously the daily, and you can just do the same principles on the weekly, and the gap will get bigger as you zoom out. Okay, the weekly. So we haven't had liquidity between 81 and about 89 in a long time. Okay, so that's where you get the weekly FVG, and then the monthly FVG actually looks even worse, right? So let me just turn off the bull market support band and the EMA. But if you look here, the FVG on the monthly is massive. We haven't retested that. So if we do move to the downside, guys, it's more than likely that we could come into those sort of levels, okay? We could wick down there, okay? We could only maybe scalp the low 80s, okay? As I said, the bull market support band is a little bit higher, so maybe we only tap that. So that's what I mean. That's what I would be targeting. As you can see here, the monthly oscillator is also, we're still above that. So perhaps we don't go back down. So that's what I want to talk about there, just to end that topic. But this is the chart that a lot of people have been watching for a long time, the BTC dominant chart. Now, why I do say that altcoin season is coming around, and why preferencing altcoin allocation instead of BTC allocation right now is more in my favor, is pretty much this chart here, guys. It's this monthly oscillator. This momentum is moving to the downside. Okay, you've got the change in the momentum of the moving averages. Okay, the red now is above the blue, which does signify that the trend has changed. Look at history over here in 2019. And the pivot is 63.13. So for me, the month, which closes in about 17 days, so still, no, sorry, my math is wrong. 15 days. It's still a while away. So we got 2 weeks of price action, but it's showing me that we are expecting a turnover leading into maybe March, into April, okay? Now, what I did say is that potentially altcoins run really hard later this year in Q3, Q4. It could take time for this to play out. Or this dumps really aggressively and it looks like we maybe move up quicker. Now, ultimately, I don't think all altcoins are going to run, okay? And as I see, on the weekly, we still have time for it to move up a little bit longer. So that's what I mean. By March, April, this could be obviously starting to put in a change of structure down to the downside. So that's where your altcoins are going to go well. So Craig asked before, Greeny, what are your altcoin bags? It's just strength, right? So a lesson I've learned over the last 3 cycles is follow strength. Now, obviously, the strength in 2021 was Ethereum. Everyone wanted to build on Ethereum. Everyone wanted to trade on Ethereum. The DeFi was on Ethereum. NFTs were on Ethereum. Everyone wanted to own as much Ethereum as possible. This time, liquidity is a lot more spread. However, you still have strong narratives. So strong narratives, obviously Solana. Okay, so Solana is probably one of the stronger charts. Okay, we've seen it come out recently again. And people are saying, look, we actually do want a Solana ETF ASAP. And if you look here, it's still putting in macro high lows, still macro high lows. So even on this chart here, this is on the weekly, you've got macro high lows. So it's still very bullish compared to Ethereum and other tokens out there. So Solana still remains number 1. Within that, Craig, me and you have been talking about Radium since point 2 all the way back here in the middle of the bear cycle because it's a simple thesis, right? It's the main DEX, it's main liquidity provider, and always was before Memecoins, okay? Anybody that says you're owning Solana and Radium because of Memecoins has no idea and didn't do enough research to actually look into why Radium is actually a good purchase and why I spoke about it literally, nearly 2 years ago. So that is probably the main 2 that I still have a bit of bag, but I actually have been buying more other tokens because I've owned Radium for such a long time. And Solana. I still have a lot of Solana. So I'm trying to de-risk my Solana into potential plays that might outpace it, Craig. So one that does come to mind and one that I have seen recently due to a pullback, and I did take some profits on it recently and I have been buying again, is actually SUI. So a chart that I like to look at, and as you can see on the weekly momentum, we probably do still have lower here before we might see a lower high and then we set another sort of outpacing. But what this chart shows you is if it goes up, that means SUI is going to outperform Solana. If it goes down, Solana is going to outperform SUI. Because I have so much Solana, Craig, I've been like, well, look, I think SUI is not a bad play. There's still token unlocks, but if the tech and the chain is doing really well, then you got to ignore those sorts of things. So SUI is definitely one I've been accumulating. And I do think that, yeah, we probably still have a little bit longer whilst BTC dominance comes down. Once this momentum comes down for altcoins to take off, give it a month or 2. But I do think SUI is definitely one to consider. Now, obviously, within that, you've got the same players why I bought Radium. Okay, Cetus is the main DEX on SUI. Sexy and I had a look at this yesterday. I think it has like 80% of volume on SUI is through Cetus DEX. So as you can see here, from the swing low to the swing high, it is at its 786. So a move back to all-time highs from here seems a very simple trade of, 3.75x. Like it's like a 3x. So why fade something like that with a very simple invalidation below here? Okay, for Cetus, and because it's the same sort of narrative play as what Uniswap was on Ethereum last cycle, or Radium or Jupiter is on Solana this cycle. So Cetus is one that I've been buying. Tau, obviously, with the AI narrative, is another one that I caught at 290 during that liquidation event last week. But I am, again, it's still probably not a bad area here and could push higher soon. Again, the momentum oscillator on this one is probably sooner to going up than actually still coming down. So those ones I'm keeping an eye on. I think utility-based, AVAX still remains one of the strongest utility-based places. People build on their subnets. People build games on there. I just think at some point, I think this challenges at least a 2x. And so for me, I'm like, I think Bitcoin's not going to get a 2x. I don't think Ethereum gets a 2x. So I probably would like to allocate at least some money to AVAX. As it is, again, one of the most Web2, Web3 connection based blockchains out there. Like it literally is. If you go do your research, it is one of the, outside of XRP, probably one of the most well connected already between the Web2 and the Web3 world. So those are my main plays at the moment. And lastly, obviously, is hype. Too much liquidity on there. Too much liquidity on there. Too much interest on there. It's been accumulating very nicely, one of the strongest charts, and it looks like it wants to attempt a breakout here on the daily at the moment. We just need to push past these previous highs. So that's my bags that I've been buying, Craig. Is pretty much hype, Sui, Cetus, AVAX a little bit, Tau. I would buy Radium if it does go lower, but that's pretty much it, Craig. So what are your thoughts about all of that thesis at the moment?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's I guess you could call it a very similar to play to the one we ran up on Sol and Ray. Very similar, right? I mean, with Sui and Cetus. So yeah, I've just added those to my bull run watch list. So thank you very much. I'm going to watch those levels. Hype is the one I actually don't know a lot about, but it's shown a lot of strength chart wise versus the others you just called. That's an interesting one to watch. I need to dive a little bit deeper over there, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people. So it's pretty hard to fade that. Yeah. It sort of reminds me of Sui when it kind of came around and people sort of got so hyped up about it. I'm just cautious where to enter on hype versus the others, which look nice and bottomed. But like you said, strong narrative, man. And were you saying there's a lot of liquidity there?
Yeah,
so if you a lot of volume, sorry.
Yeah, a lot of volume and liquidity over there. So look, at the end of the day, Binance might also be a play if CZ is going to come out and say a meme coin for his pet. That was some news this morning that we read. So that could be a play as well. So, I mean, I traded last cycle, it was Ethereum, and then it rotated to Binance at the end of the cycle. A lot of altcoins, a lot of gaming tokens had progressed over to Binance. So you would have been on PancakeSwap. A lot of people on there, you would have been trying to like stake on there and do DeFi on there. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So that could be potential meta, but Hyperliquid continues to outperform a lot of other chains out there. So why not? And it makes it so readily available to trade on chain, like leverage and stuff as well. They list a lot of tokens nice and quickly. So it's a really clean platform. I probably should do a video on it, actually, like just focus on that particular opportunity. But yeah, so for me, I think even though the weekly change, as you can see, it's been a very non-volatile week. Okay. So that's why we're seeing a lot of red, but it is down the most because it was up the most in volume. So definitely something to keep an eye on. I think it is probably one of the ones that, at least of the newer chains, if you think Berachain, you think Abstract, you think Monad that's coming out, you think Story Protocol, all these ones that it's just diversifying liquidity even more, and no one's going to trade over there. Literally no one's going to trade over there. Airdrops are a thing of the past, honestly. We're seeing so many airdrops get absolutely hammered across the NFT space. That's a saturation event. That's so clear that it's just not going to work out. Match that with obviously macro bearishness on Ethereum. So why would you want to be trading on the third L2 or the third L3, whatever it is, right? On that chain, it just does not make sense. So it just makes more sense for you to invest in something like Solana, Sui, AVAX even, or Hyperliquid, because they don't have the amount of L2s on there. So I do think Ethereum is a great play for the future. Don't get me wrong. I think for DeFi and actual finance worldwide, I think Ethereum is a no-brainer. People will want to build on there. It's just, it's going through it's going through its third cycle. So yeah, technology evolves. Okay. Things catch up, technology gets better. Other people come out and change technology. It makes it more appealing, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, I just don't think it's worth holding this cycle. I know, Craig.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, kind of unfortunately and fortunately for those bag holders. Interesting enough, just speaking about BNB, PancakeSwap's up 83% on the 7-day, man.
Is it?
Yes, when you're seeing PancakeSwap up 83% on the weekly or 32% on the daily, on the 24-hour, that's a big jump, man. So people, as you've seen on the timeline, are starting to play BNB shitters, you would have seen.
Yeah.
I've seen a few decent-sized wallets. Big Ethereum players are heading over there, actually. So you'll see this getting shilled more and more. May not be bad plays, guys. But yeah, PancakeSwap, when you see that pumping, you know people are playing over there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thesis with Greeny and I, what it was with Ray and Cetus is exactly what's happening right here. It's a really good example. BNB up as well. So when people start to play on chains, meme coins, etc., obviously the chain pumps plus usually the DEX. So Pancake Swap, which is Greeny, you would have mucked around in Pancake Swap
Oh,
last run. I did. It
in
was
21.
wild.
Yeah, in 21.
It made me laugh even looking up the token and having a look. Someone put up a picture of the swap, what it looked like. And I was like, whoa, that takes me back to some of
the memories.
I was so green back then. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I was even doing that when I was so new.
It's crazy. But like, just for
good times.
Comparison, right? Like, Uniswap last cycle ran to $41. So how does something like a DEX on other top chains this cycle? We're talking Sui, we're talking Solana, we're talking obviously PancakeSwap on Binance. How don't they outperform if that's where the liquidity and trade is going to go? So, and volume. And so it's really important for you to consider those sort of theses as well. Dive deeper into ecosystems because so many people don't. They're so surface level with their research. They go, oh no, it's just like Radium's a buy on meme coins. I'm like, I bought that before meme coins were even a thing on Solana. So it's like dive deeper into why, and that could potentially be it. Now, Craig, have you seen a lot of good people out there? My accountant Matt from the Crypto Tax Made Easy, Mando, a lot of people out there actually own JLP. So in other words, they're on that. It's not an exchange, but they're is it staking? I can't remember. I might get this wrong, chat. So please let me know in the chat. But a lot of them own this token to diversify their portfolio across a bunch. I'll see if I can find it. Across a bunch of different opportunities by only holding that liquidity provider. So in other words, let me try and find it for you guys. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So the token is distributed. Here we go. I found it. So this is it. So it's a pool where you provide liquidity and you get APY returns of 44% still. And it has been very aggressive all cycle, but it's split across these 5 assets. Okay. So it's Solana, obviously 46%. Ethereum's at 10%. BTC has increased. It was lower. It was about the same as ETH, but there was a pitch recently to increase it. So this is something that a lot of people don't ever consider too, is actually looking on chain for potential plays like this, where you can lock up your liquidity into Jupiter's liquidity pool and actually distribute it in a safe way across 40% Solana, 10% ETH, 10% BTC. Maybe this is actually a play, Craig. If it's going to pay you out a decent APY, I do think that over time, guys, this, like all things, probably goes down when the bull market ends. But Craig, have you ever looked into something like this?
No, I didn't know that existed. So basically what they're sort of packaging up a product where it's diversified risk across several chains.
Yes.
And then giving you a pretty big APY. I quite like that, mainly because the plays that I saw last bull run were big APYs, but they were focused on one chain or one token, whereas that being spread over obviously Sol, ETH, and Bitcoin or wrap BTC. Yeah. I prefer that. And also why the APY is a bit lower than the 700% from last bull run that some companies were throwing around.
PancakeSwap was one of them. I was like, 2000 APY is crazy. I mean, I'm sure it rugged. But like, here we go. So it's an index fund of Sol, ETH, wrapped BTC, USDC, and USDT. So what I like is that it has exposure into staking on USD. But it also, as you can see here, 75% of the generated fees from opening to closing fees, price impact, borrowing fees go into the pool. So that's how it goes. And that's how the APY is created, right? Traders' profit and loss allocates the fees generated into the pool. And then that's how it provides liquidity. So as you can see, there's let's say like nearly $2 billion in this pool. So Mando being a big follower of this, and obviously my accountant from Crypto Tax Made Easy, Matt, he's been one that's shielded this for a long time too. So plays like this actually could be not a bad play at the end of the cycle if you want to rotate into less volatile assets, but still have exposure to the top 3 plus stables. So yeah, I mean, again, crypto's insane. There's so many opportunities out there to make money. So something like this is not a bad opportunity out there as well. So I think we've covered a lot of altcoins today, Craig. Let's obviously pivot to the meme coin space at the moment. Have you, as you said, you haven't been trading too much in the trenches. I have been trying to trade a little bit more in the trenches. They haven't been too bad. We have seen it slow down a little bit, but like over the past week, we've been flirting around that sort of 1.5% region for graduation rate, which is usually not a bad time. But if you dive deeper, obviously, as you can see here, only 33 tokens today are still above that 100K region. Yesterday, it was only 32 tokens still above 100K. So it's not as lucrative as it once was, where liquidity, you could consistently see if something was going above, say, 300K, it probably was going to stay around for quite a while. And you can trade into volume. So you can still make money over there, guys. And we have been in GTG. It's just some days it is a little bit slower. So you do need to be mindful of that and mindful of macro. But Memecoins, Craig, are you wanting to buy anything in particular? Obviously, we saw JAILSTOOL run over the weekend. We made a 70x in GTG on that bad boy. We got in down here at 2 million and it ran up to 220, but I sold it at 130 mil in that first liquidity block there. I mean, it's running back up now, but Craig, are you interested in any meme coins right now?
Oh man, not particularly. Oh, let's put it this way: not particularly in the way that I'd go into the trenches now and lock myself down for 10 hours, get coffees and zins, and sit there and be like, right, guys, hunting packs, right? Is it bundled? Is it this, right? Someone look up the socials. Someone look up this. You know how everyone's kind of doing a job, right? In the trenches, hard. When it's hot, it's awesome, right? At the moment, I feel like it's, I think hanging around the trenches all day is not. Look, if you catch the runner of that day, yes, the issue is that the run of the day fades out by the next day. So even the run of the day doesn't even last till the next day anymore. So you've got to be in the first, hour, maybe. So it's time is tight now, and you just don't always get many rebounds. You speak about, buying on the fibs and the 786 and all those things. It's quite tricky at the moment, right? To swing trade those. So I'm not. I'm kind of just watching, mainly because I missed the runners on the weekend, obviously, because I was with my boy. So I didn't want to go back in and try and chase them. And I went back and checked the charts, and the charts told me I did the right thing not to chase them.
Exactly.
But don't get me wrong, man. If I was in GTG and I saw that runner with you, fuck yeah, I'd be in. But by the time I seen it, man, there was already drama about the coin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So by the time I saw it, there was already guys calling people out for dumping and Frank's in there and all your and Nick's in there, man. Nick's in there making music videos.
Dude, and special shout out. I
love Nick, bro. He's so
I mean, I am back to repping the Badoggo because I sold my Pudgy.
The content was just so good. Thank you, Nick, for making the timeline.
Shout out to him. He embraces it, and he's probably one of the only people that embraces every opportunity like that. So shout out to them. They've nailed several topics all cycle. Like think back to the FTX. That was bear cycle. They went like him and Pio flew. They flew to the Bahamas.
What about that the other day? I was like, those guys are crazy, eh?
So like their content is next level. So that's why I love their show and everything as well. It's at midnight, so I can never watch it live anymore. Like I have a life. I don't want to be staying up to midnight. No. So it is a shame. Australia sucks for time zones. It really does. But hey, I mean, trading in the morning here is actually pretty good. But I wanted to obviously talk about this one. So MLG was obviously the one that we've heard a lot of manipulation by obviously your top people in the space, but top streamers, right? You got Aiden Ross, you've got Banks, you got Thread Guy, Frank, etc. All of them talking about it, but a bit of stuff on the timeline at the moment saying that they're in beefing and stuff, guys. I highly think, Craig, and we were talking about this before the stream too. All these sort of people are just doing it to create hype and to create more followers on their account, to make it more beef and all that sort of rubbish. It's top tier manipulation in a social sense. Okay. And I said this before the stream too, like these new people that have these massive followings, they don't know how to trade. They aren't traders. They're all of a sudden calling themselves trader because they're sharing their their wallet publicly, and they're trading on stream to thousands of people who then buy the tokens that they're trading on stream. So it's like, okay, bro, call yourself a trader if you want. You are not a trader. Show me you making money in a bear market in no volatility like we have had the past week. You look at them, they have been struggling. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm buying this dip. I'm like, it's going lower. And sure enough, MLG is going lower, just with simple TA, Craig. But like it's clout chasing at the end of the day. They're trying to build themselves up a big enough brand that they last in the bear market. Fair enough. Like, I mean, that's what we're all here to do. We are trying to do that. Craig and I being two of those people. It's just, I hate the way that they go about it. So for someone like me, Craig, and someone like you, like we look, I don't mind the odd shit post. There's nothing wrong with that. A bit of humor on the timeline. But at the end of the day, it's my focus has always been education, and that's where I think I struggle with these sort of people. That's not their forefront. They're just trying to make money. They're in for their own pockets. They're just trying to blow each other up as much as possible so that they can all win. That's what I hate. That's the point that I hate, Craig.
Yeah, it's an interesting one to watch, and it's kind of the evolution of our space that we're witnessing right now. And it's kind of like there's a couple of ways to make money out there, right? And one of the ways, probably the easiest way to make money in this market is have a Jerry Springer show. I was talking to you before. Some people might be too old to remember Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer was a show when I was in my teenage years. It was on late at night, and basically the audience would come out and it'd be a story like someone had a baby to their cousin or some trailer park shit, right? And they'd end up fighting and all that. And, Jerry, and everyone loved it, right? And everyone tuned in, but everyone tuned in for the drama.
Yeah.
So what the influencers have worked out is drama brings more eyes. Drama brings way more eyes than everyone getting on. Way more. And if you get more eyes, it allows you to have more ammo behind you as far as liquidity that backs up your purchases. If you've got more people that follow you or track your wallet, then if you make a call, your likelihood of getting the call right for yourself is exponentially higher with greater followers.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is the people that have kind of got loud about trading now were people that never spoke about trading in the past, because the in a bull run, you can pull this off. Yeah. In a bear market, you can't. Yeah. So these people go the art route during a bear market. They'll go NFTs and shilling, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when a bull market comes, then you can use massive followings to create narratives on narratives that are here. So one of the big ones I'd bring up was AI. Yeah. Now, there was one of those people, and I'm not going to bring them up in particular because this is more systemic problem than in particular.
Yeah,
one of them was saying, I'm full porting into AI. I'm talking Goat, Cerebro, all those ones. And if you check the charts now, down horrendously. And one of them in particular was staking his claim on, I'm all AI this run. AI is going to be massive. It's not going to stop. AI is going to take over the world.
Yeah.
Now, the issue I have is those influencer people, I don't think they're skilled enough to call massive narratives like that. No. They haven't been in the space long enough. And the other thing that, they can call a narrative, but to say to their followers, this is the one.
Yeah.
We can go to those charts now. They're all down horrendous, man.
Yeah.
So that was one of those believe in something calls again.
Yeah.
Just the same. And that's not trading. That's gambling, guys. And don't get me wrong. You can get wins on these calls. You can get wins on these calls, but lots more will get losses. And they're definitely going to get wins. The issue I have with it is much more people will lose than win. And no one learned anything along the way.
Exactly. The point I don't like is the people that follow them. They're following the wrong people. That's essentially what I'm trying to say, is they're following the wrong people who are going to lead them down a trend of not making money, or also just essentially just taking you down the wrong rabbit hole, right? And not growing as a person, not growing as a trader, all these sorts of things. So anyways, to wrap up the end of the show today, Craig, I think I just want to talk about 2 points. 2 points that make me bullish right now. So if I bring up total crypto market cap, we saw this, and I have been tweeting about this quite frequently. You have 3 stages, right? You have accumulation, distribution, and expansion. And what we've seen is we are currently in the distribution. So you have accumulation during the bear market. You then have distribution where you are breaking out, okay, which happened last cycle, or happened the cycle before. Unfortunately, can't see it here. It's not a log chart. But you then have expansion. So for me, I'm still saying so patient. I do think this looks really good. It could take till April before we do see expansion, but I do think that crypto looks very good here in terms of that aspect. Now, lastly, Craig, is obviously the fear and greed index. Now,
just about to go.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, it's actually wild for me that we are at 35 fear. And BTC is at 97, 98, whatever it is today. 97, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Look at the price of Bitcoin going up and the fear increasing at the same time.
Absolutely crazy.
Bitcoin price goes up and people get more scared.
And you know why, Craig? It's because people don't have the right bags. They're over allocated to NFTs. They're so emotional about that. They're over allocated to meme coins.
They're in AI meme coins, man. AI. Imagine being full ported into an AI meme coin. Imagine.
Exactly. And as you just spoke about, they're over allocated.
See you at the finish line, motherfuckers.
But if you look here, this is opportunity. Like, it's very often, if you buy fear in a bull market, same here. If you bought these fear dips last year, July, May, September, July, August, etc., you would be up. You'd be up from there. You would have taken profit at extreme greed, right? When BTC got to 98K, that's when I took profit, because you want to take profit in greed. You want to buy fear. Now, as I said throughout the show, we're giving you lots of alpha today, guys. So obviously, if you are new, like, subscribe. Very much appreciate it. Greeny Trades, Craig's Coin Purse. But what you're looking at here is probably opportunity, in my opinion, Craig. Now, I do think we could go lower. If BTC goes to 85, people capitulate. And
give it to me, Greeny. Give it to me. I want to see blood. I want to see people throw up. I want to, when I hit buy on altcoins, I want to feel sick.
Yeah.
Like I want to, and this is what excites me this run, and this is probably hopefully a lesson for everyone in there, is times like this, seeing these prices should actually excite you.
Yes.
Like I'm thankful we're here because I get to have another go. Because obviously we were accumulating Greeny altcoins in the down periods and we were selling on the up. So people like you and me didn't have a lot to do at all-time high.
Yeah.
Did we? Apart from going, look, we were right and we took some profit. But that doesn't really help people.
No.
Like telling people we sold at all-time high, and that for people that were watching that, it's kind of like, well, fuck. Like, what about me now? So, guys, here's a moment for you where Greeny we're not saying to you, look, we were right. We're saying there's an opportunity here. We might be wrong. Could be wrong. But I'm looking at it as an opportunity. And to be honest, I'm really excited now. This is the first time in the market since Bitcoin broke all-time high, and we all got fizzy about that. And Solana as well got me a bit stimulated. But this point in the market, I'm like, ooh, I can make some money here, Greeny. I feel like everybody here listening right now, this is an opportunity in a bull market, a massive bull market when everything's going up. Real estate's going up, stocks are going up, the US dollar's going up. Nothing isn't all-time high. So that makes me think crypto is going to also continue to go up. And if that is the case, then these prices now may be about as good as it gets in a bull run. I'm like you though. I want to see a little bit lower still before I full clip in. But I'm now watching every day, looking to buy, which is a nice change of mindset. So for the people out there, this is a good time when you're locking into our streams where you get to follow us on plays. I think even if you don't follow us, sorry, that's maybe not the right word, but you can look for opportunity now where you can get 2, 3, 4, 5Xs, probably a lot comfier than you will in a AI meme coin, man. Which you can't sit on so much. What are they down? 90%? I don't even know, man.
Yeah, lots of them are down. Yeah.
So I think if you buy, even if you're a bit of a pussy like me and you buy Solana, I don't think you lose 90% before the bull run ends, man. I think it's going to go up before you go down 90. It will go down probably 90, but I don't think it's now.
Yeah. Here we go. So I'm
feeling greedy, very greedy.
Meme coins were at 127 billion mid-year last year. They got to 100 billion again, 120 billion in January 19th. We are currently at 71 billion overall. So that's a move down of over 40%, 50% as a collective. Okay, so that's everything. That's not your top performance, which are down horrendously, right? But we are still starting to see, like, here we go. Car 95% down, Craig, from its launch last week. So the Congo,
that's amazing.
That's the African one that came out over the weekend.
Fart dust.
Look at that. So many people on the timeline. I'm like, I'm buying that. Yeah, it's like, no, bro. No.
Even Mega, bro. Like Dog with
Flog, Toshi, all these ones that got listed on exchanges, Retardio. We have so many. So Trump as well is absolutely capitulating. So Moondeg down horrendously. It's not going to come back. It was just a period of time hype. Lots of people get this wrong, guys. So that's why we're here. We're here to educate you at the end of the day about opportunities in the right way. So I don't know, Craig, is there anything else you want to wrap up with here, or are we happy with that?
No, I'm good, man. I think good stream. I think guys get excited. It's that point in the market when fear comes in a bull run, you've got to start licking your lips. If you're not, I think you're probably strategizing incorrectly, and you might have to go back to the books and have a look at how you're playing this market. Yeah. But we are in a bull run. Opportunities are massively there, and while these fear, like I said, let's strategize, let's plan. Obviously, Greeny and I are on the timeline all the time. Greeny and myself are in GTG, Greeny's group. So we're in there educating all the time. There's some great traders. Shout out Sexy, who's in here right now. who's just a phenomenal trader, man. Phenomenal. So there's some excellent resources in there, not to mention the community as they develop, they become good resources too, Greeny, for you and myself. So I'm thankful to be in there now to have members who go, Craig, have you seen this? Have you thought about that? I'm like, fuck yeah, great, man. So strength in numbers, guys, is a good thing. So the people that are probably just jumping into the bull run and you're kind of alone, it can be pretty scary, or what do I do? Find a community, man. Find a community, but find a community that teaches you how to trade rather than just says, hey, guys, 10 years a shitter for 10K market cap. Let's all ape in and make some money. That's great from time to time, but probably better to learn how to trade and chart and learn how to make money in the downtimes too. And trust me, the bear market's coming, and there's a lot of the strategies that are working now won't work then. So start to learn, because there's a lot of money to be made. Greeny, you and I made good money in the bear market, man. I made great money in the bear market.
Yeah,
I made more money in the bear market this last one than I did in the bull prior. So if you stick to it and you keep learning, bear markets are amazing. So that's my advice to everyone here. It's not always about getting all your money in the bull.
Yeah.
You can also get it in the bear. In fact, the bear's where you really make money. So
absolutely.
Guys, get learning now, because when the bear market comes, that's where we fucking feast. But take it back a step. We got plenty to make before that happens. So yeah, man, strength and numbers, get in the community. Shout out to Greeny and myself if you have any questions. And at the moment, man, bit of a boring market, but guys, stick to it. Don't give up. The good times will come back, and we'll all forget these down times.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in a boring market, the true traders come out and make money, and that's what we do in GTG. And you can check out Greeny's group on Twitter just to clarify how much we are still making money every single day in the group. But as we said, it's more about education, it's knowledge, it's experience, it's actually having a community that you can talk to every single day about, and analytics or checking this chart or opportunities, all those sorts of things. It really works out well. So Craig, another banging stream. We'll be back next Tuesday, next Thursday, guys. Oh no, next Thursday. Oh no, yeah, next Thursday. Maybe I have a wedding next Thursday. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it next Thursday, but next Tuesday, definitely. So we'll see you all then. But thanks again, Craig, for tuning in today.
Thanks, guys. Cheers, Greeny. Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
All right, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.